Hello and welcome to Teslanomics Live, everybody. I am your host, Ben Sullins, and this is the show where we break down the most recent Tesla news. And we do so in kind of a serial fashion. I just run through these news articles, give you my thoughts on them, kind of break down what the facts were, and then at the end we do a live Q&A. Now, in order to join on the live Q&A, you need to join us on Crowdcast, which is a different platform, which is just has a better way of interacting and asking questions, kind of like a Reddit AMA. So if you want to do that, you need to get on our email list, which you can do so at teslanomics.co. So that is kind of the first thing. And then also this will be about an hour long. And so after the fact, what I'll do is I'll go post a timestamp of all the different stories we covered. That way, if you're only interested in one of those, and maybe you only came here for that one little bit, you can hop right to it. So you don't have to watch this kind of start to end and all that kind of thing. So without further ado, let's get right into the first story. And the first story comes to us from, it was posted on Forbes by Brooke Crothers, who I'm a fan of, but it was originally from CNBC. And it's about some former employees that were talking about some issues, some current and former employees that were talking about some issues with the Model 3 stuff going on at the Gigafactory. And there's two issues. Brooke kind of summarized it nicely here, and the first one is the battery touching issue. And I'll read you the statement, and then I'll explain what that means a little bit, and then we'll kind of talk about what Tesla responded to it. So from the CNBC article, it says, two current engineers told CNBC that they are concerned some of the batteries being shipped do not have the minimum gap required between lithium-ion cells. These engineers warned that this touching cells flaw could cause batteries to short out or, in worst cases, catch fire. These engineers said that they raised the issue internally, but their concerns were shrugged off by managers. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now, let me explain a little bit, and I'm not a great battery technician, so I'll do my best here. But on the screen, what you see here is essentially what the how it works. So these cells, these are the 18650 cells in the Model S. In the Model 3, they have the 2170. It's just the size of the cell and some different chemistry and stuff. But anyways, these look like AA batteries. They're cylindrical lithium-ion cells. These go into these modules, and you can see kind of how that's laid out here. Again, it's a little bit different for the Model 3, but the same kind of concept applies. Then those modules go into the floor of the car, and this is the battery pack, right? Now, there's all kinds of other stuff in the battery pack for thermal management and all kinds of different stuff, but essentially that's how it works. You have this little cell, which looks just a little bit bigger than a AA battery, that fits into a pack. They're all connected up, and then those go into the car, into the battery compartment there, the skateboard as it's known. Now, inside of that cell is the thing that they're talking about, and this was a diagram I found online where you have an anode and a cathode, and these hold the different charges, the positive and negative charge, which is where the electricity is actually stored. And then you have a separator between them. Now, the separator is what keeps them from touching, and if they touch, what will happen is, just like if you were to connect two ends of the battery to a wire, you would feel the electricity flowing between them because the circuit would be complete. And what happens is then it can get really, really hot. And if I go back, if you can imagine, there are thousands of these in the car. They all could heat up really, really quickly and then potentially cause a fire or something else. And there have been reports, I think, of this when a car gets into an accident, it damages some of these things, and these happen. And so this isn't completely unfounded, this idea anyways. Now, Tesla responded to this by saying something interesting, though. Tesla's response was, the long-term reliability of cell position is something validated through testing. All of this testing is designed to prevent touching cells from being installed in any of our vehicles, including Model 3. And here's another part, and this is what Brooke is saying. So I agree with Brooke. Tesla's response is very defensive often. And so here's the final part of that, of Tesla's response. Finally, the implication that Tesla would ever deliver a car with a hazardous battery is absolutely inaccurate, contrary to all evidence and detached from reality. It is irresponsible to suggest as much based on unnamed anonymous sources who have provided no such evidence and who obviously do not have a complete understanding of the extensive testing that all batteries in Tesla vehicles are subjected to. So, the question is, are they lying? And I'm not really sure. Now, we have seen this before. However, at this point, any of these issues should have actually came up in the testing that they've done. And remember, general public, like myself included, are getting their Model 3s to the tune of thousands, probably over 1,000 a week now. The last guidance they gave us was that they were producing 1,000 per week. So I hope that these claims are unfounded. If we see anything like that, of course, I will report that and bring it back to you. I'm really curious what you guys think about this. Is it possible that these guys are doing it for some other benefit? Like, why would they lie about this? Are they just upset or angry, disgruntled employee kind of thing? Is there another actor at play here that we're unaware of? Because it doesn't seem like something you would just lie about. And it's really curious how CNBC got this. Now, CNBC tends to have a very short position on Tesla. You can just reading, the way that they describe the company and everything is very negative. So I'm curious what you guys think. Is this kind of a hit piece and they fished for this and it was kind of, fraudulent in how they came about it? Or is there truth to it? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, the other piece of this story was that there are manual workers putting the battery cells together. Now, again, if you go back to how these work, essentially each of these modules, the cells come over, I believe they're made by Panasonic, and then they put them into these modules, and these modules go and get put into the skateboard kind of a thing. And so that's what they do at the Gigafactory. Now, I've actually talked to folks that work at the Gigafactory, and it is true that for the first, I don't know how long, many months, these were being done by hand, and of course, they cannot do it nearly as fast or as well as a computer can. Now, that said, it doesn't mean that the machinery that they already ordered and I believe is already installed is not up and running, and maybe what they're trying to do now is having additional people work in addition to the machine. So the second part of the story was, they're being manually assembled as late as mid-December, not that long ago, and that this is why they think they're going to start to see more delays. Now, to me, it really speaks again to the motivation behind the news organization that is telling the story, because it's confusing to me why, like, if that doesn't really seem to have much meat on it, why are they publishing a story with that headline? It doesn't really seem to make sense to me. So I'm kind of questioning whether or not there's some other ulterior motive there behind CNBC publishing this. So curious again what you think. To me, in everything I've seen, the ramp is going up and up and up. I mean, the final Q4 numbers that Tesla published a few weeks ago were all positive in terms of the progression of it. And even the people that are really short on Tesla agree that they'll hit their stride with the production. Guessing when that will happen is really difficult. And of course, I do my best using the data we do have to come up with those estimates. But in any event, I don't think that these signal a delay, unlike this article is reporting. So I'm curious what you guys think. It seems kind of odd to me why they would be doing this. So that is my short for the week, because if you recall, if you guys have been with me for a while, I do a kind of a short and a long. I've got a really good long later. Next, I have some fun stuff to share with you, and this is from EV Wheel Direct. They changed their website here. So EV Wheel Direct is a sponsor of today's episode, so I can't thank them enough. What they do is they have these really awesome turbines, and you guys know, if you know me, that I love the turbine wheel, this design right here, and it fits on the Model 3 beautifully. If you've been following me on Instagram, and I'll show you some photos there, I now have these. I have a set of these exact, I think they call them charcoal gray, a 20-inch turbine wheels. Now, they make them both for the Model S and the Model 3. So if you have a Model 3 reservation, you should buy these now, because they have free shipping worldwide until February 28th. Worldwide. So what that means is that if you live in Europe, if you live in Australia, wherever, you can get a set of these rims for a pretty cheap price. It's about $1,200 for the Model 3, and about $1,300 for the Model S, and same for the Model X. So if you love the turbine wheel as much as I do, go to teslanomics.co/M3turbines. That's teslanomics.co/M3turbines, and it'll link you over to this where you can get free shipping on these worldwide until the end of the month. And let me just show you some of these photos. So here's the ones I have essentially, but I have them on my car. And by the way, this is a separate, double plug. Go follow me on Instagram if you guys are on Instagram. I just got on it recently, having a lot of fun. Some of my friends basically strong-armed me, but I get to post a lot of things on there that I don't post on YouTube. YouTube's algorithm is very picky about the types of things you can post without kind of being hurt by it. So I have to be very careful on YouTube and very strategic, but here it's much more open. So if you guys want to see more of this fun stuff that I have going on and more lifestyle type stuff, check me out. I'm Teslanomics Official because apparently someone took Teslanomics. Anyways, here are some shots of my Model 3 with those exact wheels. And you can see it's a black one with the charcoal gray. And I do have the chrome lug nut covers right now. I did actually go check out some of the black ones, but I think I'm going to keep the chrome unless I were to get the chrome delete because it seems to match. So there you go. You can also see fun photos of surfing with the Model 3 and things like that. Let me get another shot here for you. There you go. So here you can kind of take another look at what they look like. I mean, these are the wheels that you want. You do not want a different wheel. The sport ones, the aero ones, don't even come close to how good these look. The only thing else I'm going to do is probably lower it a little bit. And I have a connection on that, and I may be doing a giveaway, so stay tuned for all those kind of things. But these are the wheels, and again, you can get them at teslanomics.co/M3 turbines. Free shipping until the end of February, so I would order them even if you don't have your Model 3 yet, because you're going to save a couple $100 at least on shipping right there. And by the way, the Model S turbines do not fit on the Model 3. If you guys recall, if you've been with me for a while, that was my original plan. That doesn't work anymore. So you have to they have a different bolt pattern is what it comes down to. And I don't know why they did that. Kind of annoying. But anyways, here you have it. Model 3 turbines for your Model 3. And stay tuned for some fun stuff as I kind of work through all of that. Now next, the supercharging program, free supercharging, is ending in 2 days. So if you guys are on the fence at all about getting a Model S or Model X, now is the time. You can go to teslanomics.co/TD and get my code, and you can join 64 other people that have taken advantage of it. Together, we've saved almost 200,000 pounds of CO2 from entering the atmosphere. So pretty cool stuff. Make sure to go check that out because really now is the time. Who knows if there's going to be a referral program going forward and what they're going to be doing and all that. So next, I have some fun stuff. Okay, so Elon is kind of crazy. As you guys probably imagined. And he is selling now the Boring Company flamethrower. And yeah, he had some fun videos of this. Apparently, this is a real thing. I think it's $500 or $600. You can go buy it. Elon is being silly with it. And one of the things that's crazy is apparently this is totally legal. Marquez, MKBHD, responded to Elon's thing, and then Elon and him had a conversation on there. Kind of crazy that this is legal, but yeah, some fun stuff. So I'm curious if any of you guys are getting these. I don't plan to. I want less stuff. Apparently, he's sold almost $4 million of these so far. So there you have it. Next, we have a review from Cnet on the Tesla Model 3. I've been a fan of Cnet for a long time. This is really top-notch, world-class, best-in-class production quality. So I highly recommend that. I'll put a link to the description in that. And also, the reason I brought this up is because the Model 3 review they did is really good for people that are not super informed about Teslas or Model 3s. So if you are a big fan of them, you already know all this stuff, probably not that exciting or interesting to you, but for maybe people that are less kind of in the know and don't plug into this stuff every day like we do, this is a great review that you can send them. So I'll put the link in that in the description there. Next, we have my long for the week, and my long comes to us from Matthew Chan, who is fighting cancer and was able to actually go visit the Fremont factory and meet up with Elon and Franz. And so I just love that this company is doing such cool things like this. Let me see if I can pull this up for you. Oh, maybe not. But anyways, basically, Elon and Franz met with him, and they gave him kind of a really cool experience at the Tesla factory. Fascinating stuff. I'll put the link to this down in there and you can go check it out. Cheers to Elon and Franz for being such great people and doing these kind of things, because I think this, really goes to show about how the company thinks of its customers and why people like myself and other folks are so kind of in the family, right? We're a part of this thing. It's not just another company, with kind of nameless, faceless stuff. This is like a real thing. So this is my long for the week, is that, they're doing these kind of things, and I love to see it, even if it's a small thing, Next, or last on our list, is kind of a similar, tangentially related Tesla bit of news. And this is the latest energy project in China. And this project is pretty amazing. The Chinese province of Anhui, no way I pronounced that correctly, built a massive floating solar farm on top of an abandoned coal mine. That's right, they built a solar farm on top of an abandoned coal mine. And an even larger floating solar plant will come online by May of this year, 2018. Due to rising concerns surrounding air pollution-related deaths, China is trying to invest more heavily in renewable energy projects. The new solar farms are a part of the global shift away from energy generated from fossil fuels. So cheers to you, Chinese government, for doing this. Obviously, you're doing it for selfish reasons because your people are dying and you need them to not die, but you are also recognizing the value and how much better of a strategy this is going forward. So this is really cool. I hope to see more projects like this. And I actually just saw a tweet earlier about electric vehicle sales in China being out of the, completely blowing away the rest of the world, which is no big surprise. So obviously I'll be digging into that later on a more kind of in-depth episode. Cool. So that is the news for the week. I appreciate you guys joining me. Next, I'm going to hop over and do some Q&A. And this, again, is on Crowdcast, which you can get the invite to by going to our email list at teslanomics.co. I'm going to close that there. And if you guys are on Crowdcast, please hang with me while I kind of get set up here. So I'm going to turn my video off. I'm going to throw the questions up. Make sure to go vote. And I am going to try to take a little bit of drink of water here and catch my breath. Okay, guys. So first question comes from Wayne Garvin. What is the Model 3 ride like now with the 20-inch turbines compared to the 18-inch aero wheels? So two things about that. I don't really notice much of a difference in kind of the bounciness or any of that. Like it seems fine. One thing that is interesting is that because the wheels are bigger, when I first started driving, it had to recalibrate the sensors, and so to do that, it popped up a little thing that said, would you like to reset the sensors? Choose your tire size, and there was no 20-inch option because they don't make a 20-inch tire for the Model 3 yet. I chose 19. It was the closest one. I actually should have kept it on 18 because the revolutions per minute or whatever are similar. But in any event, the sensors reset successfully. My autopilot and cruise control were disabled for about 40 miles, and then it kicked back on because I had to, recalibrate now with the bigger tires. And that's because I sit higher. So I do want to lower it. I'm probably going to go do that just about an inch, not a lot, basically back to factory setting where it was before. The default setting is crazy high, and so it looks kind of odd right now. There's a big gap between the wheel well and the tire, and so I'm just going to bring that down a little bit, and the springs I'm going to put on it are actually dual mode. I think the dual modular or something, I forget, where the ride itself is about 15% lighter when I'm just driving, and then when I turn or hit a corner or anything like that, the second mode of the spring kicks in, and it's much tighter, much sportier. So hopefully that'll actually give me a better ride overall. But riding higher has been easier. I don't hit as many bumps. In terms of like a rough ride or anything like that, I haven't noticed it at all. So I've been really impressed with it. So hopefully, I'll see a lot of you guys out there with these wheels because I think they are just phenomenal. And I'm biased, obviously, but, don't take my word for it. Just check it out and tell me what you guys think. And free shipping worldwide is pretty unreal. So, yeah, take advantage of that for sure. Thanks for the question, Wayne. Next, we have a question from Alex. The Model 3 will be my first Tesla, and I'm wondering what aftermarket accessories you'd recommend I consider for the car. Okay, so first off, wheels and springs I think are great. If you're looking for something cheaper, though, man, where is it? Okay, here we go. And I'm doing a video on this. I don't know if I'll publish it on YouTube. I might just do it on Instagram. But this is the Via. Is that how you say it? Via? Vava? I don't know how to say it. But anyways, this is something I'm going to be sharing out very soon. This is a cell phone holder, right? You put the magnet on the ball, and then you put this on your phone, and it sticks to it. And the reason I'm recommending this is because you can put this right behind the steering wheel, and you have your dashboard. I like Waze because it has, even if you're not doing navigation, it has your speed. It gives you warnings if there's an accident and stuff like that. So you can just use Waze and control things like Spotify or whatever through voice commands. And it's pretty cheap. I think it's like $15. So I'll put a link to this in the description down below. That is the first one. Other than that, some other types of things that I would recommend what is it? It's there's a thing for your trunk to protect it. I forget what the name of it is, but I'll put some more links, and I'm actually going to put together what they call a kit with different accessories and all those things that I recommend. But this is kind of the first one that comes to mind, which is specifically for the Model 3. And stay tuned for a video either on YouTube or on Instagram for that. So yeah, thanks for the question, Alex. Next, I have a question from Jim. Should we petition Tesla to add a HUD capability to the Model 3 in order to deal with the look-away issues and the current display? I don't think so. I don't think it's a big deal. But I don't really care for a HUD. I tried one out before. Didn't really like it. So, no, I don't think so. Thanks for the question, Jim. Lenny asks, I know that some companies like to fluff up their spec sheet. Since you have had some time with the Model 3, are the specs for the range with or without the aero wheels? I'm not quite sure. So the only real way to test that is to drive it to zero. And of course, what happens is, wind, temperature, hills, these affect your actual, your real range, how far you actually get. So I haven't dug into that yet, but I probably will very soon. And of course, now I have a different set of wheels, so it's all kind of messed up. In any event, the range is far more than I need on a day-to-day basis. And in terms of the traveling I do, the driving in it it's fine as well. Me and my family are actually going to do a road trip here and kind of share that experience with you using it. The one big downfall is that you have to pay for supercharging. So that's kind of a bummer. But I've talked about that before. I may do another video on it. So yeah, thanks for the question, Lenny. Trippin asks, hi, I asked now you know a question after consulting with my friend who is questionable white hat hacker. Me and him thought if you were able to clone a Bluetooth profile. So could you steal someone's Model 3 essentially by cloning their Bluetooth profile in their car? I'm not sure if it's Bluetooth or NFC, which is an interesting thing. I will say that there are some real interesting things that happen here. One is that when you're in the Tesla app, and I'll pull it up, and I'm not sure if you guys will be able to see this at all. But when you pull up the Tesla app, I have multiple Teslas, so I have to swipe between them. If I am not on my Model 3, then the phone key, was what it's called here, will not connect. And I also have had a lot of issues where it just never connects. I have to use the card. So the phone key is not bulletproof yet. And so for me, I think that's something that, even if you could clone it, I'm not sure how effective it would be. But yeah, sure. I mean, in theory, that's a thing. I mean, even if you could just steal someone's password to their Tesla account, then you could get it. So I don't know if you need to go as far as cloning a Bluetooth profile or not. But yeah, certainly a possibility. I mean, nothing is perfect. Certainly not these cars. So there you go. Yeah, thanks for the question. Carlo is asking, Ben, still debating on which battery I should buy. Long range. I live in Toronto where long range is the answer. Temperatures go below 0 to minus 30, long range. And I understand that range may be cut in half in those temperatures, long range. I am nervous about when my car is 10 plus years old and that some of the battery has been degraded, long range. My commute is 88 miles a day each My commute is 88 miles a day. Help, please. Long range. Long range is the answer. Absolutely. The degradation, I'm not sure is that big of an issue. 10 years is a good amount of time to keep your car. And certainly you'll see some degradation. Battery data we have from the Model S and X show that you should hold 80% or greater of your charge up to 500,000 miles or something like 740,000 kilometers. I forget exactly, but I did a video on this a while ago. I would expect the Model 3 to even be better. So yeah, long range is your answer always. By the way, for people that still question this is the best value you can get of any electric vehicle. It's not even, this isn't like a debate, right? I'm not giving you my opinion. If you look at the cost per mile and you look at all EVs out there, the long range Model 3 is the best value by far. So yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Thanks for the question, Carla. Mark Lyon asks, Ben, do you know any way to use a DC fast charger, CCS, with a Tesla? I don't personally, but I do know that companies have made adapters for these things. I'm not sure why you would want to do that unless maybe you live somewhere where there's not a supercharger, because it's going to be dramatically slower than a supercharger would. And in both cases, I imagine you're going to have to pay for it. So yeah, I probably wouldn't go that route. But if you Google it or look at some of the forums, I'm sure somebody's has probably made one. Thanks for the question, Mark. Excuse me. Yeah, this is a good question. Thomas Walker asked, if you were to put a deposit down now for a Model 3, you don't already have a Tesla, when do you think I would get it? I'm guessing mid to late next year. Depending on the ramp. Really, the question on the ramp is, what is the peak production? They've said 10,000 per week before, but I don't have faith in those numbers because we haven't seen it yet, and basically all the other numbers they've been overestimating by a huge margin. So that's a big question on what that would mean for you. So yeah, there you go. I would say mid to late next year is my guess. Mark asks, do you think there will be a significant infrastructure bottlenecks once the numbers ramp up, such as insufficient superchargers or service station capacity? I think service stations are going to be the tough one. Of course, they've talked about it. But the superchargers, remember, are meant for traveling. Most people will, it's like the data I've looked at, it's upwards of 95% of the time you charge at home. So you're actually very infrequently using superchargers. Of course, for some people, depending on their living situation and all that, that's different. But in general, I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think service is the bigger concern because these cars will have issues, as some people have reported, just like all cars have issues. So yeah, I would be more concerned about that. Superchargers, I don't think I wouldn't worry about. Thanks for the question, Mark. Max asks, is there a heated steering wheel for Model 3? When will the heated back seats get unlocked? Great questions. Don't know the answer to either of those. I don't know. I thought mine is supposed to have a heated steering wheel with a premium package. I'd have to go check. You can go to teslanomics.co/Model 3 specs, and I list all the specs there. I copied them over from the Tesla Press website, so you can check that out. Obviously don't know when the heated back seats will get unlocked. And obviously where I live, I probably will never, ever use them. So, not much to come on that. Thanks for the question, Max. Lenny asks, not Tesla, but crypto related. As a data scientist, have you looked into Crypto 20? It's an index fund. Crypto uses data science for created. No, I've not. But that does sound interesting. I'm not sure how you would trade that. It seems like a lot of work to set up. But no, I've not. Mike asks, I got to sit in the Model 3 in Boston. Congrats. Very impressed with the build quality and interior. How does your Model 3 compare with your Model S in this regard? Ooh, this is a loaded one. Excuse me. Yeah, so I like the Model S interior far more. I think it has to do with the screens and the dashboard and the size of the steering wheel. The steering wheel also has a lot more functionality than the Model 3 one does. The Model 3 is a extreme minimalism. And so I do like it. I like them both differently, but I like my Model S interior more. Thanks for the question. Scott asks, drag times, my friend Brooks over there. If you guys don't know his channel, definitely go check it out. I'm sure you've seen his videos. He did 4.70 to 60, and you were hoping that I could do the same. I am going to go race my friend who has a 75D, hopefully soon. I think we have to get helmets. Like, we went down there and they told us, they turned us away. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, and the performance model should go faster. So there you go. And your other question there about the tax liability thing. Yeah, so if you're getting yours later this year, it may be reduced to half. And so you would have $3,750 for your overall tax credit from the federal. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Maybe. I wouldn't try to make more money just to get a bigger tax credit. I wouldn't worry about that because who knows, if there's not going to be some executive order canceling it tomorrow. Like we really can't. I wouldn't count on any of those things. And remember, Scott, that the tax credit doesn't reduce the price of the car, right? So when you buy the car, you're still paying for the full price of it. So if it's like in my case, I'm a $60,000. My monthly payment is for a $60,000 car. The tax credit I will get, refunded back to me next year, 2019. So even if you got it now, that doesn't really affect, your cost for many months to come. So really, keep that in mind when you think about how that works, right? They don't take it off the price of the car, so you still have to pay for it. So thanks for the question. Omar asks, when do you think Tesla 3 will be exported to Northern Europe? Maybe early 2019. We'll see. Hopefully sooner. I'd love to see some friends out there get them. Mike did not ask a question, apparently. Max asked, do you think there will ever be an accessory key for Model 3? I'm not sure what you mean by an accessory key, like for the glove box or something. I don't know. I think the key is what it is. The one thing I'm still not in love with is the phone key, just because it doesn't work that well. So yeah, thanks for the question, Max. Does the barrier between the glass roofs bother you for the Model 3? No, I don't think so. I'm not really looking back there very much. Thanks for the question. I'm just going to kind of run through these quick. I have 34 questions, guys, so make sure to go vote. I definitely won't be able to get to all of these. So Guy asks, just wondering what other types of videos you have planned with your Model 3. Here's the thing about this, is that, like I mentioned earlier, YouTube is very picky, right? So if I just started loading up YouTube with a video every single day about every little thing Model 3, is what I want to do, YouTube would actually penalize me and stop suggesting my videos and then really hurt the channel and all those kind of things. So I have to be very picky about the videos that I'm doing. So I think what you're going to see is the themes in general is that every week we'll do a live stream like this. We'll have an analysis related video, something numbers related, and then probably a more vlog style video, something more fun, less heavy on the numbers. And because what I want to do is I want to show people how amazing the Teslas are, and right now specifically the Model 3. And not everyone is into the heavy data numbers kind of stuff. So that's the kind of idea, right? I still am going to be publishing that and doing that, but I have to be very selective. So I think later this week, one of the videos is about how I paid for my Model 3, which, by the way, the total cost was just over $37,000, I forget. So basically how I got a $60,000 car for about $37,000. So stay tuned for that. And then I'll have some more vlog stuff. So each week it'll be kind of, different, but stay tuned. And also I'll post from time to time in the community tab on YouTube, which you see primarily on mobile, a poll asking you which video you're interested in. So yeah, heavy, all Tesla stuff coming up, mixed between analysis and vlog style stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying those. It seems to be a lot of the comments are really doing well. So thanks for the question, Guy. Gary, New York, I'm considering black from Model 3 color. Yep. Since your Model 3 is black and the paint is solid, not metallic. Yes, it's a solid paint, not metallic. Would you get that color again? Yeah. The only thing I don't like, and of course people tell me about this, is that it looks dirty very easily, right? So I'm almost going to buy a duster or something to kind of pull the dust off of it, because literally every 2 days you can walk by and write your name in it. And I just don't know if that's where I live or what, but my white car, it's weeks go by and none of that happens. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for the question, Gary. Brendan S, big fan, really enjoyed the videos, new content. Hey, all right. Yeah, so what's going on with the referral program? Yeah, so as far as I know, the referral program ends in 2 days. Now, it looks like some of the of the actual wording on the website. Let me pull it up. See, here on the website, and I'm sorry you guys can't see this on Crowdcast, but on the link where it has my referral code, it used to say free and limited supercharging, and below it, it would say ends January 31st. It no longer says that, but still, if you look in the details of the referral program, that is what it says. So I'm guessing we're going to see some updates very soon. I don't know exactly what they're going to be, but I hope they continue to offer some sort of benefit. I'm guessing free supercharging is maybe, we've exploited that too much. Maybe they go back to just $1,000 off or something like that. But yeah, I don't really know any details, but I'm guessing that they will have something because the program has been immensely successful for them. In fact, if you look, they've earned over $1 billion over the past 2 years alone from the referral program. So probably something they're going to continue. Yeah, thanks for the question, Brendan. So another question from Brendan about the decrease in price for the Model S or X. There's a pretty large gap between the Model 3 Premium Long Range and the base Model S. I would think that Tesla could move mini Model 3 reservations holder to Model S if it wasn't $20,000 more. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're going to see an upgraded Model S. And maybe the price go up even because I think people want that distinction. I know a lot of people have Teslas, and for some people they like the prestige of it, and there is definitely a huge difference between the highest end Model 3 and the highest end Model S or X. Huge difference. I can't overstate that. So yeah, I mean, I think if anything, we'll see the prices go up. Because what they want are, is that distinction. And also, hopefully, with that, you'll get some other really cool features with the Model S and X sometime soon. Thanks for the question. Max asks, will Tesla ever include quick access to the frunk, like a latch or sensor for all cars? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm guessing not. Definitely not for the Model 3, because the frunk isn't it's latched. It's not electronic. There you go. Martin asks, I'm coming to Model... Oh, Martin... No. Sorry, Martin, I missed one of your questions there. I'll try it again. Do you think once more established car makers catch up in terms of range and performance, Tesla's current popularity will suffer? I would ask the same question about Apple, right? The phone I have here, the Samsung Galaxy S8, is superior to the latest iPhone in every way. You guys can hate me for that. I don't care. But even the specs are all better. It's really not debatable. But Apple still has it, right? Apple still has that thing. Maybe the shine is worn off a little bit. I think Tesla will have a good 10 to 15 years of that still, regardless of what other companies do, because everyone looks like this old stodgy dinosaur compared to them. That's just how it is. I do think that I'm excited that many new companies are coming out and really kind of stepping up their game, like Mercedes, BMW, Jaguar, all these other companies. So, yeah, thanks for the question. For some reason, Carlos' question didn't pop up. Sean asks, I would really in a future show like to see some bags in the Model 3, Model S trunk. I think what's his name did it. Mel from Talking Tesla did this. So yeah, I would check them out. They did some kind of things, putting golf bags in and all that kind of stuff, as well as Zach and Jesse from Now did a whole crazy thing breaking it down. So check them out. Thanks for the question, Sean. Enum asks, is it true that you used to work for Facebook? It is. I don't have my business card anymore, but yeah, you can see. Well, you can't see it on Crowdcast, but on YouTube you can see my little move fast and break things thing back there. Yeah, I did all their Tableau work, which is a data platform, a data analytics platform. So I helped really kind of implement that from the very beginning and grow it, do training programs and all that kind of stuff. It was a really fun time. I really enjoyed it. Still have a lot of friends there. Go back whenever I can. I'm a big fan of Facebook. Thanks for the question. Barry asks, I understand the rear window visibility is limited. Can you make a video through the rear mirror so we can see how limited it really is? Also, can you test mileage without aero caps? Unfortunately, no. I don't think I can do either of these things because, again, of how picky YouTube is. Yeah, I will say that the rear window visibility isn't really much different than the S. If you've never had either one of them, then yeah, it definitely is, just because of the way the shape of the car. But it's not something that I mean, you get used to it really quickly, so not something to be concerned about. Matthew asks, as As a software engineer, I wanted to develop an app that has a speedometer, G-force accelerator, weather, blah, blah, blah. Instrument cluster, found them. How well would you think that would be received? Yeah, so... So I would say that could do well, like an instrument cluster, a dashboard for your thing. The only thing I would say is that there are already apps out there like it. Of course, it doesn't mean it shouldn't stop you from doing it. I personally love using Waze because of all the alerts and things when I am driving. So, yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. I probably would do a very kind of prototype thing and try to get it out there and see what people think, take feedback and all that. Maybe you could make a Tesla specific one somehow. So yeah, not a bad idea. William asks, is it smart to sell your old diesel car and get an EV? I feel like it's a trick question. Yes, of course it is. I don't know what else to say. Tim asks, I noticed a ball and string hanging from your ceiling in your garage. Yep. Doesn't the Model 3 have a setting so it knows how far from the wall you want to park? Yes, it does. Well, actually, no, it doesn't have a thing about how far. It doesn't have the summon feature like the Model S does. It doesn't know that yet, but of course it has sensors. But my Model S until recently didn't have sensors either, so that's what that's for. Also, my son loves playing with it. So yeah, thanks for noticing, Tim. Dennis asks if you can borrow my Model 3. No. Carol asks, Maastricht is in the south. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I'm going to run through these pretty quick. Dang, still 22 questions. Make sure, guys, to go vote on this because I'm going to cut it out here in about 5 minutes, so I won't be able to answer all of them. So there you go. Todd asks, have you tried Bluetooth streaming from your phone to the Model 3? Yes, I have. I'm particularly interested in Sirius XM streaming as it appears that the Model 3 won't be offered the infotainment system. Yeah, it doesn't even have an AM radio, so I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't have the Sirius XM stuff. I have tried streaming. I do almost everything streaming because Slacker radio is so awful. So primarily that's what I do. Yeah, and I use Pandora and Spotify. So it should work fine. I mean, I haven't had any real issues with that other than sometimes it doesn't connect to my phone right away. But that's I've had that in every car. Bluetooth is not perfect. I'm not a fan of a lot of these wireless things yet. I just don't think it's there. So, yep. Thanks for the question. Michael asked, any luck finding the OBD2 port on the Model 3? Nope. I did look and I didn't see one. If you find it, let me know. I'd love to actually see it. Do I have a flamethrower on order? No, I do not. Not into it. Any estimate on when Western Canadian deliveries of Model 3 will happen? I would check out Model 3 Owners Club, their YouTube channel as well as their website. A lot of people post things like this. The real big thing is to the last I heard, people that have that are non-Tesla owners, I have still not been invited. So if you're a non-Tesla owner, it doesn't sound like you've been invited yet. So, yep, hang on for that. Mark asks, are the turbine wheels different left to right, or do they push air in on one side or the other? I don't think they're different. No, I don't think so. I think they're all the same. Yeah, I'm not sure. That'd be an interesting test. I wish I had what are those called? An air channel, a wind tunnel. I wish I had a wind tunnel to work with. That'd be fun. All right, I'm going to take two more questions here. Peter asked, what was the estimate? Ben, what is the Tesla Model 3 seat material? It's leather or whatever the fake leather is. Would you know when we can select a different color? Do not know that. I'm guessing later this year. Okay, last question here. Can the map portion of the screen be turned off and only display the mile per hour? No. It cannot. You can bring up the music or something and put it over there if you want, but no, you can't really disable that. It's very, very limited right now. That certainly will change in the future. Okay, everyone. Thanks for joining me yet again. Don't forget that if you want if you want your turbine wheels, go to teslanomics.co/m3turbines. And that if you are on the fence about getting a Model S or X, make sure to go get a free supercharging, which ends in 2 days at teslanomics.co/TD. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, when you free the data, your mind will follow. Thanks, guys. See you next time.